What's the biz, everyone? It's your boy Baker Maker, aka D. Ensley, and I'm here to give you some true shit. So, um, previously, about like not too long ago, I did do like a video discussing my overall thoughts on Bakugou from My Hero Academia, my thoughts of him as a character. Basically, giving you the rundown, basically telling you how I felt about him at the beginning of the series, how I how I initially he was not my favorite. Like he was far from my favorite character in My Hero Academia. In fact, he was probably like my least favorite character in season one. But then over time, I did I was pretty much and then giving my reasons why do I fit that I felt that way and such and such. And however, towards the end, I did mention saying that he has grown on me as a character and how I really truly do like enjoy seeing his character development as the series has progressed and everything. And I wanted to give a bit more in go more about that, talk more about that, and then also discussing on my thoughts on his character development in episode 61, where basically he has that whole fight with Deku and everything. But yeah, so like I said, he was not my favorite character in season. Like he was my least favorite character in season one. I hated Bakugo in season one because frankly, I just kind of felt like his whole motivation and his whole purpose for hating Deku was one, super petty, and two, like very unwarranted and didn't make a lot of sense and didn't really. I just felt like his character just existed just for the sake of giving us a quote unquote rival character, just for someone to hate on the main character, and that's it. Because other than that, he had no real true reason to really hate Midoriya, other than oh, pretty much because like remember this kid. They pretty much grew up together, and for the most part, Bakugo was pretty much just a bully. He was just a bully to Deku because he had quirks while Midoriya didn't, and he couldn't, he had no shame of rubbing it in Deku's face every chance he got. And for whatever reason, as soon as Deku got his powers and everything, he felt like he's like, oh shit, I can't bully him anymore. I can't pick him around or nothing, none of that. Oh, now I'm pissed. While at the same time, uh, I guess like it was explained that he did felt like Midoriya was playing him all these years, that he was pretending to be weak just for the sake of one day picking his right moment to embarrass Bakugo in front of everybody to make him feel weak and stuff, which we all know that's not the case because, like I said, Midoriya didn't get his powers towards like season one when All Might finally decided to transfer his powers to Deku, because he saw great potential in the boy and saw true heroism from Midoriya, but despite being quirkless, which by the way, which only happened after seeing Midoriya have the courage to go and save Bakugo, his childhood bully, from a sludge monster. And ever since then, the whole rivalry between Deku and Midoriya have like it got really worse. Like I said, as soon as Midoriya got his power, got his quirk, and as soon as he and Bakugo both attended, the academia, hero academy and everything. There's been a there's always been like tension between the two. Even after that whole when they had the whole scuffle they had at their training session they had, the hero versus villain thing, where it was Midoriya and Ultra versus Bakugo and Ida. Despite after that, there was always still tension between the two, which in my opinion, the whole encounter they had in that episode back in season one, not only did it kind of it humbled because it was satisfying for me because I hated Bakugo, and seeing him almost have a bit of a breakdown was kind of entertaining. Seeing Midoriya actually humble his ass to a certain degree, even though technically speaking, you know, yeah, Midoriya and their team won, but at the same time they did take a you know a huge amount of damage and everything because at that point, remember, Midoriya couldn't really use his powers properly at that point, and even after, because like I always felt like that whole encounter did change Bakugo for the better because ever since that event, Bakugo as a person has changed. He learned from his mistakes. He learned because prior to that moment, he always relied on simply just the fact that he had a powerful quirk, and that he always how like people always believe in the hype in someone, and that's basically what happened to Bakugo because he had so many people for many years tell him he was he was the shit, because he had such a great quirk, and he believed it. He believed in his own hype, and he truly thought he was awesome and that no one could even touch him, right? And for a while, he always relied on just that quirk and his hot headedness just to win every fight. And ever since his encounter with Midoriya, like I said in season one, he changed. He realized that he has to, especially when he starts to see his own classmates like Todoroki and the others. He saw that there are other people with quirks just as good or even better than his. So ever since then, he wised up and he realized he had to work his game up. He had to rely more on just his quirk. He had to rely on his brains, his intellect, his skills as a fighter and everything else. He had to overcome over time. He had to realize that he had to, because here's the thing, Bakugo's a really smart guy, despite how he might come off as a brute, but he's actually pretty smart when he in a fight, especially in a fight. He can be very technical and stuff like that. He knows what he's doing, and he knows how to use his. And one of the great things about him, like especially in season 2, was that he learned how to use his quirk in such a way that it's super effective, and he knows how to and he also, to a certain degree, not to the same extent as Deku, but he knows, as long as he knows his opponent's quirk and know how they use them and stuff. He knows how to use their weakness and how to use it against them and everything like that. He's like I said, he's truly developed as both a fighter now, and as a person, he's still a dick, but at the same time, he became much more toned down and less antagonistic towards Deku, mainly due to the fact that, because they made sure like there wasn't that much interaction between the two. Like there was much less interactions between Midoriya and Bakugo as opposed to like the interactions they had in season 1. Because in season 1, it was just straight up Bakugo, like I said, it was a total jackass, and he just, every chance he got, he made sure to make Midoriya feel worse about himself than he already did, and to bully him or whatever, and force his way around him and stuff like that. But ever since when Midoriya got his quirk, he realized, and then realizing how strong Midoriya has gotten, he's like, you know what, I can't pick on him like I used to now with his own quirk. But ever since then, like I said, the rivalry has intensified since then. You would think it's gotten slightly, it's gotten better, the whole relationship between the two, due to the fact that Bakugo himself he's like I said, he's definitely toned down since season 1. However, you would be wrong, because ever since then, Bakugo, he's had a growing hatred for Midoriya. It's just that now he can't really he can't be as physical with Midoriya as he used to. He can't. push his weight around Midoriya as like he did back then. So like this, were forced to team up together against All Might in that whole little exam they had at the end of season 2, like you can saw just how much Bakugou still has so much hatred for Midori, and even though, like I said, very unwarranted, but at the same time, he's still going on the mindset that Midoriya has been playing him all these years since they were kids, and it's always bothering him. And also, you know, and despite that, they had to both him and Midoriya, they have to put their differences aside to take out the threat that was at hand, which was All Might at the time, because All Might was playing the villain in that whole little exam thing they were doing. Now, like I said, ever since then, I said even after that, the rivalry between the two still stayed, even when Midoriya saving Bakugou, which from League of Villains, which by the way, that bothered the hell out of Bakugou, the fact that he needed help from the person he hates the most. Yeah, that still bothered him. But it turns out in episode 61, we learned that yes, that little incident and the fact that Midoriya's the fact that Midoriya has changed and progressed as a hero, as a fighter and everything, that has pissed Baku up so much, because now he's like, well, that makes him question whether or not his ideals of what being a hero, being being the strong, being ruthless and stuff like that, was he wrong? Because someone like Midoriya, he shouldn't have gotten this far. He shouldn't be considered the top students in UA. Now it makes him wonder whether or not he was wrong all these years. And the fact that, because like over time he realized that what Midoriya said was true, that he wasn't lying, that he did indeed inherit his quirk from someone else. And in being able to put pieces together, he realized that certain person that he got his powers from was All Might. The very same person that Bakugou for many, many years has admired for his strength. And the fact that his hero, the person he idolized the most, was able to bestow his quirk to someone he hates and despises and thinks for the longest time was weak. Now it makes him question whether or not everything he knew and believed was wrong. It made him question his ideals and everything, and it really made Bakugou really, like, he was scared. He was like, you know what? He's like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe being ruthless and it made him question everything he was right, and it made him feel a certain way, especially due to the fact that he had such guilt over the fact that it was because of him saving All Might, having to save him from League of Villains, is what led to him fighting All for One, which we all know led to All Might losing pretty much all of his quirk. Like, his quirk pretty much was gone after that, because he used up whatever was left in his body as far as the quirk. One for all, the one for all power, it was gone. He used it all up defeating All for One, and ever since then, Bakugou, he felt a little bit of resentment, the fact that he felt guilty, and he feels like he's weak, that he wasn't strong, and he feels guilty for not being strong enough, for being quote unquote weak, to the fact that he led to his hero being, quirkless now. And because of him, he feels like it's because of him is why All Might's the way he is now, And, like I said, it's such, and I really do, and, it's very, very relatable, it's very understandable why he would feel this way. I mean, in his shoes, if I was in his shoes, I'd probably feel the same way too. And, it is good to see that Bakugou would, feel such, guilty for that, which is totally understandable because we know Midoriya feels the same way too. He felt weak for he felt guilty for not being able to save Bakugo from the League of Villains, which we all know led to here All Might fighting All for One. So Midoriya feels guilty for that as well. And when Bakugo challenged Midoriya to a fight, Midoriya realized something, and I kind of realized it too, because if this is led on, if this went on, this whole, if these lingering feelings that Bakugo felt ever since then, if Midoriya had just rejected him and just refused his challenge, if Midoriya had just let Bakugo just let these thoughts and feelings fester for so long, at some point, and I feel the same way too, that this could lead to the path of Bakugo becoming a villain. Because like for the longest time, ever since season 1, I felt like that's what the direction the series was going with Bakugo's character, because he was such a douchebag that we thought there's no way this guy could ever be a hero, because the way his personality is, so he has such a terrible personality. There's no way this guy's gonna grow up to be a hero. We thought he was gonna be a villain, but we realized that Bakugo, this could lead to him. This could have led to that. So Midoriya, he accepted Bakugo's challenge, and they just allowed him to, just let all the feelings, frustration he had, just let him just cool off, let him vent. Basically, this is basically like Bakugo's way of venting, and it's kind of in a way, just letting him let it all out, and by fighting basically. And I kind of figured, I knew despite all the development that Midoriya has grown as a hero, despite having progressing with his quirk and learning how to control and fight and stuff like that, I knew that Bakugo's superior experience with his quirk would overthrow Midoriya. In the end, he would win. I kind of knew it. I knew Bakugo was going to win. It made total sense. He has more experience with his quirk than Midoriya has with his. At the end of the day, he's lived through many years with his quirk, while Midoriya, he's had I don't know, like a short time with his quirk, so it made sense. And now that Bakugo basically knows the truth, knows the whole connection between Midoriya and All Might, and learning the fact that All for One, the One for All quirk, how it works, and why All Might chose Midoriya and everything like that. The relationship between Bakugo and Midoriya I notice now it's changed now, because now Midoriya, he's straight up saying, because Bakugo's saying I'm still gonna, I'm gonna surpass, one day I'm gonna learn to surpass you, Bakugo. I'm gonna be able to be strong enough to beat you, and they're like, okay. They're strong, they're kind of like, they kind of do feel like rivals now, as opposed to, Bakugo just straight up always talking shit to Midoriya, and Midoriya just taking it. Now they're kind of like, they're actual like rivals now. Like Midoriya's not afraid to talk smack to Bakugo now, which is very refreshing, And now it's like, as far as I which I really do enjoy. I really did like and everything. Now, as for my thoughts on my predictions on what they could do going forward now, I feel like I said, they're pretty much true and true rivals now. There's a rivalry. It's going to be more healthy, a much more healthy rivalry now, because I feel like going from this, I feel like Bakugo, he's accepted it, even though of course, all the lingering feelings he's had towards Midoriya, it's not going to go away instantly. It's still there, but I feel like now he's learned to accept it, and he's learned to accept the fact that Midoriya, he has All for One now, and he is All Might's successor. But despite that, he's not gonna allow that to just stop him from doing his thing. He's learned to accept it, but at the same time, he's like, I'm still gonna be the number one hero, Midoriya, even though you might have, All Might backing you up. I'm still gonna surpass you and everything like that. But now I kind of feel like, not just that, I kind of feel like with Bakugou, going with Bakugou's character and everything, I feel like it would actually be interesting to see if now, because he knows, the whole story between, All Might and Midoriya, knowing the all for one for all, and everything like that. I think Bakugou would try to. I can see them totally doing this where he's kind of like on Midoriya's back even more. Not in the sense of, oh, you're trash, stay out of my way type of thing. More like you have the number one hero backing you up. You need to step up your game. I can see Bakugou kind of, in a way, not necessarily coaching Midoriya, but like being in the sense of being like an older brother type of figure where he's like, you know what, Midoriya, you need to pick up the slack. You need to do your thing. You have the pop. You have one of the most powerful quirks of all time. You need to step up your game. Prove why All Might chose you to be his successor. Prove it. Make something out of it. Prove why he chose you over me. Show me why he chose you over me. He's gonna probably be like a kind of a coach in some regards to Midoriya, but at the same time he's gonna be still doing his thing to be the number one hero as well. But I can kind of see that it'd be an interesting way to go about the whole relationship between Midoriya and Bakugou, where like Bakugou's gonna be there to always tell Midoriya to step up his game and do more than what he's doing now, kind of like that. And I can kind of see him like in his own way, while being a jerk, but like still at the same time, kind of motivating Midoriya to do better, to never give up and stuff like that. I can see that. But, like I said, in his own way, kind of like how Vegeta does it with Goku. How Goku, like, Vegeta be talking smack, but at the same time, he's like, come on, you're like, you're the number one true, like I said, do more than what you're doing, and, and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give my own thoughts on everything, and tell me how do you guys felt about that whole episode between Midoriya and Bakugou having their rematch, and how do you feel about Bakugou as a character, and how he has developed over the series? Are you like me, where he's slowly grown as a person to the point where you kind of like him now, or are you like you just still don't like him, and that's never gonna change or anything? But yeah, and if you like this video, you be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And that's it. Stay beast and plus ultra.